Hello and welcome to another episode of Always in Escrow with Serena Appel and Colby Burchin. Hi, Colby.
Serena, it is the holidays. It's that time of year. And I know who's on our show today. Tell everyone.
We are celebrating the season with David Yontef, the charismatic host of Behind the Velvet Rope. A beloved holiday tradition of ours, David returns to our show each year to unwrap the world of Real Housewives, Bravo celebrities, and pop culture icons through his daily holiday episodes. Welcome back, David, to our show.
I love that this has become a holiday tradition. I love it.
We do too.
Right?
They like the trio. They love us.
Oh my God. Well, thank you for having me back.
Well, first of all, it's our pleasure. And you guys bumped into each other at some parties over the summer. I saw some pics.
We did. It's always like, I'm like, oh, wow. I didn't realize you were in the Hamptons too in the summer. So that's great.
Yep, and that was like a nice little touch base, in person, a little moment, and then we come back here and we do our show. So, Colby, let's hit it.
Okay. So let's talk below deck. Rumor has it Daisy and Gary are back on. Do you think they're meant to be?
No, I don't. I don't know. I'm not into them together. Does anyone like them together? I just think that I don't know. I think there's so many ups and downs. Like, how is this gonna work? Maybe that's an unpopular opinion. I really don't like them together. No.
I mean, are you a fan of the yachting series?
I'm more a fan of the yachting series than I am a fan of yachting. I don't love boats. I mean, I did spend the summer on Countess Luann's boat almost every other weekend. Now, it wasn't a yacht, but she loves being on the water. She loves it. And she has a boat and it's parked, she lives literally like an 8-minute walk from my front door. I literally can walk to her house in Sag Harbor. She loves being on the water. So I am shocked at how many times I actually went out on this boat and was fine. But I'm that person, like, I get seasick. I don't like being on the water. So I like the series better than I like the actual experience of yachting. I'm not a yachty.
Okay. And last question on that kind of sector. Were you happy with Captain Sandy getting engaged and getting married? Yeah.
Yes, I like Captain Sandy. I mean, I have a special place in my heart for Captain Lee. But yeah, I mean, good for Sandy, right? She seems happy. She is the staple of the show. I think she's thrilled that she's now what's the word, the OG captain that's still standing. I think she's enjoying that position. There's some backhanded shade, I guess, but I don't know. Yes, I'm happy for her.
All right, we're going to shift. Let's talk Beverly Hills. How are you liking Dorit's newfound voice?
Personally, I'm obsessed. I am personally obsessed. I mean, I love Beverly Hills. It is I on Behind the Velvet Rope, my own podcast. I have said this. I I love just seeing really rich people on TV. That's my honest. I really like either like Vanderpump Rules season 1 and 2 and 3 where they're driving broken down cars and their cabinets in the kitchen are falling apart and they're waiting tables in LA and trying to make it and they really can't pay rent and they're broke, or I want filthy filthy rich. I don't like the in between, mom minivan with the 2 kids. Like, just I don't want to see regular life. I either want to see really broke and struggling or filthy disgusting rich. So I have always said I'm behind the velvet rope. I like Beverly Hills the best of all the franchises. I love Dorit's just. I mean, yes, do I think someone tapped her on the shoulder? Do I think she was told, like, just, we have your back, go for it? Maybe a little bit of it is overacting, but I do think it's all legitimate and she's come into her own. And let's face it, no one else is really going to, maybe Sutton, but other than Sutton, who's going to really do what Dorit is doing on this show at the moment.
It's needed.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I love everything about it.
Okay. Were you surprised Teddy and Edwin are getting divorced?
I say this on my podcast too. Like, no divorce shocks me. The Lisas would shock me. Lisa Rinna and Harry Hamlin, if you tell me they're going to get a divorce, or Lisa Vanderpump and Ken Todd, I will be shocked and I will be shocked. Nothing, Kyle didn't really shock me. Teddy doesn't shock me. Nothing shocks me, really. The Lisas. If Lisa and Harry or Ken Todd and Vanderpump are going to announce a divorce, I will be absolutely shocked and speechless. But I'm not shocked at Teddy, right? Like, they're younger, like they're not in their 50s. Like, they've never seemed so soulmate in love. If you tell me Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos are going to get a divorce, I'll be shocked. Kevin Bacon, Kara Sedgwick, like there are some, but no, I'm not shocked. Not at all.
Okay. And while we're talking about Teddy, do you think John Mellencamp reads Dorit's or likes on Instagram?
No, I agree with Kyle on this. I was thinking the same thing, and I'm like, thank God somebody said it. No, I don't think John Mellencamp, as Kyle says, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, Grammy winner, whatever you want to say. No, I don't think he cares. I don't think he needs Dorit on Instagram. I'm sure she has a bigger following than him just because he doesn't care, probably. But I think he's just on to other things now.
I was seeing that comment and I was like, really? Dorit's helping him? Like, what's that all about?
Right. Like, what world are we living in here, right?
Right. What's up for Kyle next, do you think?
I mean, look, I think that it'd be great to see her like this empty nest. Okay, that will be her storyline for this season. And I don't think I think it's over with her and Mauricio. And I don't think that's going to ever. So I just think, like, I don't know. It'd be great to see Kyle. When everyone says, like, what's Garcelle's storyline this season? I mean, what really is going to be Kyle's storyline once we move past this empty nest syndrome? I mean, I would love to see all of these women, especially Kyle, Erica. I'd like to see them date. Dorit eventually. I'm assuming it's not going to work out with PK. I want to see Kyle date. I would love to see that, whoever that may be.
Right. Okay, so do we want to see more of Jennifer Tilly or are we done with her?
We want to see her in Boz in every scene possible. Jennifer Tilly is just, and there we go again. Like, she is, I mean, look, there's well to do and there's rich. Like, Garcelle is like a working actress. Lisa Rinna, works. I mean, she has daughters now that could make a shitload of money. But, Jennifer Tilly is just Sutton level, filthy rich. I mean, who has two houses next to each other in Bel Air? I mean, all of LA is not created equal. Like, Bel Air don't play. And so just to have a whole house next door and be like, this is just the party house, or this is where I put the guests. I mean, I think she is such a good casting choice. I think when you don't need the money like Kathy or Sutton or her, she doesn't need the fame. I mean, Sutton is probably like, listen, you and I hang out anyway. I can't see you during filming because I'm filming. Why don't you just hang out with me and us, and you'll also get a paycheck, which you don't need? I think it's such good casting. I think she's going to stay. I think she's probably enjoying it. She's perfect as a friend of. I love it.
Sometimes I'm curious your opinion on this because you're hinting on that point. Sometimes when they cast certain people that you kind of think as a person watching the show, why would they get involved with that? Like, what brings this to mind is Rebecca Minkoff in New York. She's huge. Why is she getting into this?
Yeah, although uh, there's something more thirsty about Rebecca compared to Jennifer Tilly. Like, I find Rebecca a little thirsty. Like, I don't think I mean, I guess, yeah, her name is out there, but she's like, look, I don't think we knew Jenna Lyons. Like, we knew Jenna Lyons, but we didn't know her. So I think it's different. Like Jennifer Tilly was in front of the camera. I also don't think Rebecca Makoff is even close to having the money that Jennifer Tilly has. So I think, I don't know, I find Rebecca Minkoff kind of thirsty for some reason. So I think fame for her. I think Jenna too enjoys being in front of the camera, despite the fact that she will tell you all day that she doesn't. She protests a little too much, that Jenna Lyons. Jennifer Tilly, I think she's just like, I mean, why not? I'm bored. Like, like my friend is Sutton and I do want to hang. And she also lives right there near Sutton and Kathy. Why not hang out, do these things, and get some money for it? Sure. Can you ever really be too rich?
Well, let's talk OC. As much as we don't want to shed more light on his name, are you confused by Johnny J?
Yeah, and I spent the whole season on my podcast saying I thought everyone was coming back. I don't think Alexis and Johnny J are coming back. I really don't. Like, it's the story's over. We're not going to have another season of this. I actually think Alexis would be coming back if it wasn't for him, if she just came in and, was there the same way Kathy Hilton is there, or the same way Mary Cosby was there as a friend. Like, I think it's too much. It's the same way, like, we don't have Monica Garcia on Salt Lake. I think we're not having another season of John versus Shannon and Alexis versus Shannon. So what is the point? I don't think it's because like Shannon gave them an ultimatum. I won't work with her. I just think like the story is over. Like, you were used the same way like Heather Thompson was used to come back in season 13 of New York. Like, we used you for what we needed you. I don't know if the plan was to have it like go that way, but it has gone that way. And so I don't think Alexis now can come back. I really don't.
I agree. I think
Right?
her moment is done.
Yeah. Like next season will feel totally different. That's what they love.
Right. So, what did you think about Tamara's apology? Did she really mean it, or did she see herself on camera and said, "Whoa, I need to do a huge reversal"?
That one. I think she saw herself. I think Tamara thought all season, DUI, drunk driving, that's really light, that's really bad. She crashed into a wall. A lot of people didn't love Shannon to begin with. It was pretty mixed, pretty down the middle. And I think Tamara thought, like, wow, my breakout moment is going to be that I'm holding this woman's feet to the fire the same way certain people held Erica Jane's feet to the fire after Tom. And I think Tamara thought she was going to be like the superstar of the season because you don't know, you're filming it in a vacuum, so you are told things by producers but you don't know of the edit. So I really think Tamara thought like she was going to be the hero of the season, and when she wasn't, look, I don't think her job was in jeopardy at all. I think she was 100% coming back regardless. I just think she's like, oh god, I can't take this hate anymore. I think next season is going to be, the entire season is going to be Shannon and Tamara. It's going to be the apology tour of Tamara Judge and Shannon being like, get the hell out of my way. And Tamara being like, yes, ma'am. And I'm sorry, ma'am. And I just think, which will be for interesting TV. I think people will hate on Tamara. I don't think she'll win. She might win some fans, but I think that that will be interesting, at least to see a humbled, quiet Tamara,
Okay, and
right?
I don't think that will work. People love the crazy. Uh,
Yeah.
True.
okay, settle this right here. Heather Dubrow, the Disney picture, was it real or did she call ahead?
I think she called ahead. I mean, look, Heather and there are, who was this that Freddie Prinze Jr. just did an interview a few weeks ago, and he's like, Sarah Michelle Gellar and I, they live like on the Upper East Side or wherever they live in New York. They're like, no, you don't see us because it's very easy not to be seen. Like, same thing with LA. Like, you don't have to go to Craig's or Chateau Marmont. Like, Heather and Terry want to be seen, and that's okay. There's no judgments there, but you put yourself in places where the paparazzi are. So I believe that this was completely set up and she called the paparazzi. I do.
Staged. Yeah.
Staged. Staged.
Let's talk Enormous aspirational living. Let's talk $1 million listing LA. Were you shocked that Josh and Heather Altman are not returning?
Yeah. I mean, I assume that Josh is just, well, I mean, we've watched for many years. It's all about the money, right? So I guess that filming really cuts into your, that is why I love $1 million listing, because these people on the show, they really do have real jobs and they really do make more money than they do on the TV. Like you look at like an Erica Jane, she probably makes like $1 million at this point. Hold on for dear life, honey. And that's not singling her out. I mean, that's where Shannon Bedore makes a shitload of money, Tamra. So, I mean, Josh Altman makes so much money. I mean, the Altman Brothers is a real brand, it's real offices. I mean, you could do it both, but it's gotta, just whatever filming is, it's gotta take away from just your ability to make money,
Yes.
Yes. So
right?
don't.
Yes.
So who do you think they're gonna try and cast? I was thinking Mauricio. Maybe get him because he needs his image to be revamped.
Well, I was thinking either. I mean, she's probably as busy, but I mean, can't Heather just step into the role? That would be great. Can't we just have Heather Altman? And but she is busy too. Probably not as busy as Josh, but or what about David and James? Can't we bring them back? But like, what about them? I mean, for the love of God, I don't think they'll bring him back. But anyone but Frederick, please. We don't need any more Frederick on our TV. Sorry. I know these people in real life. You live in New York, you live in LA. Some people you like, some people you don't like. I'm okay without Frederick on the TV.
Okay.
I think Josh Altman, though, if I were to ever buy a house again in LA, I would use Josh Altman. Like, I think Josh Altman out of that group is the best. And in New York, I think Ryan's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Although he's trying to make way in my area here in Boca, and I mean, listen. At the end of the day, it's not him; it's other people who don't have his qualifications, and my clients are realizing that it's hard. And it's hard because he's so big; he can't be everywhere.
No, you can't. Like in, I think it's East Hampton. Like in East Hampton, Tyler Whitman from $1 Million Listing, like he opened an agency. Like he like licensed it. Look, Mauricio's fucking loaded. That's the one thing I could tell you. But right, like when it opens, it's not you. I mean, it's the local people on the ground that I'm sure you're willing to show up and help and give your name and tutor people, but then you get on a plane after 3 days of doing that and go home,
Right?
right? Well, maybe Ryan will come along and offer you something at his Sirhant over there,
He should.
right? I mean,
He's missing this Boca niche with not having Colby. Okay,
seriously.
let's talk Salt Lake City. Does Meredith Marks own the term bath bomb?
No, let Whitney do whatever the hell she wants. I'm not even a Whitney fan. I prefer Meredith, but no. I mean, that's like, what was it? That's like, no, she doesn't own. No.
I feel like you would have a good Meredith Marks in terms.
I mean, I don't mind. First of all, a Salt Lake to me is just all stars. Everyone. I mean, I really have no problem with, and I could do without Brittany, a friend of, but I am loving Bronwyn. Angie, I think, is having a great season. I think she's doing just what you need to do. I think the whole cast is coming back. I think Mary is one of the best housewives of all time. I think it's like, this is gold. This is gold to
Okay.
me. I love
So,
Salt Lake.
you love Bronwyn. Let's talk about her. So you don't think she's a phony?
I mean, okay, look, I think many of them are phonies. I don't think Jennifer Tilly at this point is a phony. She's maybe there. Is there anyone else on the list right now that is not? I mean, I think everyone's a phony. I think pretty much the entire rest of the cast of Beverly Hills is, in some degree, they all want it and they all know what they're doing, and that includes Boz. But I think everyone on Salt Lake, I think Bronwyn, knows what she's doing and is thrilled to be in the public eye and all of that. I think she loves it. I find her interesting, but I think for a first year housewife, she's certainly not going anywhere. I think we've had some really good. She's not going. You could just tell, you could tell right away. Anne Marie Wiley wasn't going to work out in Beverly Hills. Like Boz is going to be around. Tilly will be around. Jennifer Pedantry ain't going anywhere. Katie on the OC will be back. Like they've been doing some Stacey Rush on Potomac. Like this, I don't know what's going on, but I mean, we might throw this out the window when we get to Atlanta and we see all the newbies. But this cast of new people, they're getting it right lately. I don't know if they're taking longer. I think they made some really good decisions this year.
Talking Salt Lake still, who would you want or would like to see return? Jen Shaw or Monica Garcia?
Probably Monica. I mean, I like Monica. She has been on my podcast, Behind the Velvet Rope. Love Monica. I, I don't. I would love to see Jen Shaw. I would love to see Monica return. I don't think. I think Jen Shaw. I never liked her when she was on the show. I think it'd be interesting to see her return for 3 episodes. You the stunt casting really doesn't work. You know what I mean? She'll return. We'll have this elephant in the room. It'll be interesting. Life after jail, but then we will be over that very quickly. And you'll have to be. I mean, that's why Monica doesn't have a job at the moment, because Reality Von Teese was too big. If she were there, we would have, and I love her, we would have had a whole season of her getting back in the good graces of all these women. And as interesting as you think that is, that would have been a whole season, Lucy Apple Juice or Munchausen's, or you know what I mean? It's this ensemble to me is way more interesting. But I think Monica now has been out for a season. I mean, couldn't it work to bring her back and just have her be an ensemble player too? I'm not sure that's going to happen just yet. I think they're going to keep this cast just how it is. Maybe get rid of Brittany. Maybe.
How are they paid when they just do cameos?
Like what? Like Camille is going to be on Beverly Hills, or was next to. It depends. Vicky has said that she was paid. Vicky claims she was paid so much money to be on OC this past season. That's more of an open. Normally it's 60,000 for the first year. Maybe it's a little more now, but I think it's just who you are. And Camille's another one. I mean, she's so good. I'm a huge Camille fan. She says what she wants. She doesn't care. She doesn't need the money. I don't know why Camille isn't. I don't know. She
I love
tweets.
Camille.
Yeah.
She's the
I
OG.
think
Oh,
she doesn't really care. She's not afraid of anyone.
Okay, Mary Cosby's transformation. What's it from? What happened to her? She's amazing this year.
I think she was talked to last year. Andy was not happy. I think it was look, you have to participate. So I don't know if they really knew if she was going to come back as full time or a friend, but I think it was, regardless, even if you're a friend, you can't sit in the car and eat a fish fillet from McDonald's. You have to show up or we just can't use you. And I think she then turned up and showed up. And then I think this story with Robert Jr., it's all authentic. I just think they're no, this is a real story here. There's enough. And I think they probably decided to make her full time during the filming of this season. I don't know if it was. I'm pretty 99% sure that it wasn't determined at the beginning of the season. It was okay, you're going to show up, come on back and do the job. And then all this happened with her son, and it's all real, which is why I think she's great too. I think she's authentic.
Okay, so one more franchise, and then we're going to get into the top moments of 2024.
Let's talk Married to Medicine. lot of new changes. What are you thinking about Quad just appearing with this new guy over a year? Doesn't tell the women.
I mean, shady as hell. Interesting. I think this is like one of the better seasons of Married to Medicine in a while. Like you lost me some. It's not like my favorite. I never that it's crazy because the ratings on this show are higher than a lot of housewife shows. I never really. I mean, I love Phaedra. Look, I mean, Phaedra has also shaded the show in interviews where she's asked, and someone's like, "Do you watch?" And she's like, "Honey, I'm a housewife now," or "I'm back on Housewives. Like, I don't have time to watch Married to Medicine." Which, I mean, you only came back at the end of Atlanta for 2 episodes, 3 episodes, whatever it is, which hasn't even aired yet. But I love Phaedra. I love Apollo popping up. It's one of the better seasons, I think.
Are you okay with Contessa coming back?
I look, I like her better than some others. Like you look at like Ania, who's there, and like I like Contessa. I like her. I don't really, yeah. I mean, she's part of the group to me.
She was actually on Below Deck or Below Sailing or one of them this summer.
I had her on my podcast at some point too, and I really liked her. Like people are different when they do interviews, and you just get like a different sense. Like I really liked her.
Okay, 10 best moments of 2024.
Yes, let's go.
Well, I mean, look, I just want to say one I think is great is just the year of Shannon. I'm not even a huge Shannon fan as much as a lot of other people, but I think for me, Shannon's reunion, where she is just putting Alexis at her place, and you're not a TV star. And I mean, granted, Shannon, I mean, you are also a TV star. There's no income outside of this per se. I loved Shannon, but specifically Shannon at the reunion, just giving it to Alexis. I think it's like her best reunion performance ever.
Okay.
I do. I think I don't know if this is a moment, but I think Elisa Vanderpump is certainly having a good year. I mean, I think we underestimate the power of Lisa. Like you aren't fighting for your money. I mean, Kyle has to fight for her money. She's in a combative job. That is what Housewives is. Why would Lisa ever go back to Beverly Hills Housewives? She's an executive producer on The Valley. She doesn't even know what's going on The Valley per her own admission, but she's an executive producer. I mean, anything that spins off from Vanderpump Rules, she's getting a piece of. Vanderpump Villa, not a great first season. Now we're bringing Stassi on just so she could have her own show on Hulu. Great move. And I mean, everyone's fired from your show except you. And I mean, they're all going to start at peanuts. I don't even think $60,000. And your salary is probably going up to be able to. So you care about Lala and all of these people, kind of, except they're all making zero now, and your salary is probably increased, and the whole show's just saved a ton of money. So I just think Lisa Vanderpump has had a good year. She just opened Pinkies. I mean, Mary having this conversation with her son. I think it's not even that, okay, it's such an important conversation, like, sure. But I think, like you said, like Mary, I just saw another clip of something coming up on Salt Lake. Like the fact that Mary's not just showing up, but is so like fun and funny and has these one-liners, but also really is just like having real emotions and breaking down. I'm like, what more do we want from a housewife? I find her to be one of the realest people on the whole damn show.
I felt Erin from New York City, her father, capturing that on the show, and then he passed a couple weeks later. That was a huge tragedy for her and her family, but it was definitely a moment that got the audience.
I think that's a good one too. We could put that as like number four. These are in no particular order. Another great moment for me of the year is the New Jersey pause. I am so here for it. Let it be on pause. I mean, I don't see how it's going to come off pause anytime soon. I really don't know. This is a topic I've talked a lot about on Behind the Velvet Rope. I don't know. I usually get a sense of what's going to happen. I just I mean, part of me is like, they can't get rid of Teresa. And the longer it's off the air, I'm like, it's like Teresa's interviews are really strange to me lately. That the more she interviews and talks, it's like, it's almost like she seems like, as John Fuda says, that has been person that was part of the show and now isn't. And if you listen to like, and I don't think they know anything, but like if you listen to like Melissa's interviews, it's all about like, we don't know. None of us know what's going to happen. It was a great run and we'll see. It's just, it's much more lighthearted. Teresa, like, I think there's nothing more, and this will lead to my sixth moment of the year. Lisa Rinna, it ties in. Like, that's how you exit Housewives. You're gone, however you exited on your own. I don't think she left on her own. I think it's, you know, granted, not everyone is a Hollywood actress who can, but I mean, I think it's just, there's nothing more pathetic, sad to me than a housewife that's just, sure, come on behind the velvet rope and let's talk about it. I'm asking you questions. Great. But when you're sitting there and that's all you're talking about, and you are talking about things from 5 seasons ago and the damn show, and you are not earning a check, I just find that sad. So Teresa's starting to, in these interviews, sense that to me. So I think the pause, I mean, she's also like, she just thanked her tree huggers for coming after Kristen Chenoweth online there. So it's like, I don't think you realize what you're doing. You're thanking your group of fans for like berating Kristen Chenoweth. But that's the whole thing that you're accused of. Like, that's the whole reason we have a pause. So like, shut up. Like, I would just be like, I am not doing an interview. I don't want to say anything. I just want my money. Like, where's the check? Where's the contract? I just think so. I think the pause is so great. It's needed. But leading into the number six, I think Rinna, that's how you exit Housewives. She's 60 years old. She's now a fashion model and actually doing it really well, whether you love her or hate her. She has the, like, the body for it. Like, where was this all these years? Like,
She's a machine, that one. How about Miami?
how about Miami? I mean, I have to say, Dr. Nicole leaving doesn't keep me up at night the way it keeps a lot of people up. This new girl, Stephanie, I think is, to me, a trade up in the sense that she seems like batshit. Like, she'll do anything for the cameras. She had some Instagram video. She was walking around and saying, "Of course, I have like a stand for my Birkins, and this is how many Birkins." Like, she's just out there. Dr. Nicole to me was like too normal. I mean, there's a lot of things off air, if we're talking about Bravo, that stand out as far as like moments of the year. I think in a way, like Bethany's reality reckoning. Now, I don't think it is anywhere. I think she's moved on, but I would put that on my list of moments of the year because it started. It's really like we are having a discussion about it, right? Like Leah's in court, and I mean, I think it has changed and moved the needle, even though she has moved on to other things, Bethany, and is not really, doesn't really care anymore about this. I think another moment of the year to me, which I guess shocks me, is the whole thing with Kenya Moore and that Kenya just isn't on Atlanta. Like, Nene has spoken out in her favor, Drew, like even Candy. Like, since when is too much? And that does tie into Bethany's thing. I guess that's my number 8 moment. Like, you know, the fact that Kenya's gone for, I mean, this is Kenya Moore. Like, I don't know what you expected. Isn't that the job? Like, didn't she do what she was supposed to do? So that's on there. Number 9, I have to say, we're going back to New Jersey. Whether it was her idea or not, it could have been producer's idea. Margaret Joseph sending those flowers to Teresa and just saying, like, you know, love, 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 right?
That was an iconic moment.
That was better. Your husband's in the pool. That topped everything Margaret has ever done. I don't think Margaret's coming back, regardless of whether Melissa comes back or Teresa. I think Margaret's not coming back. I don't think Jennifer Aydin's coming back. I think those two are not coming back regardless of what happens. I think Dolores and Rachel Fuda and Danielle Cabral are coming back regardless. And then I just don't know if it's Teresa. So I feel like for Margaret, If you're not coming back, you're going out on top. What an iconic moment, right? Like, just, it's so funny. Such a good moment. I gotta say, without question, I just think one of the most iconic moments in housewife history. I'm sorry. I love Dorit driving down Laurel Canyon with that cigarette. I mean, listen, Luann smokes in real life, Teresa smokes. These housewives don't smoke on air.
Right.
Oh, that was a shocker.
Yeah.
And even then, when she was on Watch What Happens, and Andy's like, and she was like, yeah, like, what do you want from me? Like, whatever they smoke, like, that's the one time she smoked. She smoked because she is in paparazzi pictures at times with a cigarette. So Luann too, like, so just that was such an iconic moment. Such an iconic moment.
Okay, predictions for 2025.
I am hoping and praying. I think they have a real chance to get Vanderpump right. I think Vanderpump is going to be good. I think I have a weird feeling, even though New York is a disaster, I think the reboot of Vanderpump is going to be great. I think the reboot of Atlanta with Portia and Drew, and then bringing Phaedra in at the end, is going to be a bloody mess, as bad as New York. People are not going to like it. I predict a lot of the cast changes are going to slow down. I think everybody in Salt Lake is coming back. I think everybody in Beverly Hills at the end of the season, I think the whole cast will be back, including Tilly and Hilton. I think the OC, every single person is coming back except for Alexis. Roni, my prediction is it's coming back. It's coming back, guys, even though I'm more than happy if it didn't come back. I'm predicting, I think Southern Charm, as we watch on every week, is going to just be a great season. If I had to predict about New Jersey, I can't. I got to go with my gut. I did a whole show after last season for an hour and a half on my podcast, but I have taken it all back now. I think New Jersey will come back with Melissa Gorga, Dolores Catania, Rachel Fuda, and Danielle Cabral. Those four.
Whoa.
And maybe Jen Fessler, 4 to 5, and they will have newbies. I just feel it. I just feel it. I don't know why. And I'm not even sure that Teresa's going to get a spinoff at this point. Maybe. It's nothing to do with whether I like her or not. Maybe she'll get a spinoff, but you got to produce, and it's not going to be the same paycheck. I just think, I feel it. I just think she's now in the Nene. I'm not saying Nene can't come back. I think if there's a horrible season of Atlanta, the door is slightly open for Nene. I just think, look, Teresa makes a shitload of money. And like, when you work at a corporation, they never say, it doesn't work to say, we have good news and bad news. The good news is you're keeping your job. The bad news is, instead of 2 million, we're giving you 1.2. It sounds great. I mean, you say no and you're pissed, then you sleep on it for 3 days and you're like, well, I'm not going to turn down $1 million. So you take it and then you're over it, but you're not, because then you actually show up for work and you're filming into the 12th hour and you're pissed the fuck off. And you're like, I'm also making half the salary. It just doesn't work. Corporations never do that. So I just think, I mean, New Jersey is off the same way New York season 13 is off. Season 13 was Luann making a shitload of money, Ramona making a shitload of, like, it toppled over. Sonia making a shitload of money. Like, New Jersey became too expensive. And I just think Melissa, and I really do not have a team between Melissa and Teresa. I really don't. I just think Melissa, if you can close your eyes with a whole bunch of new girls, she will fight, she will laugh, she will have ups, she will be, who knows who Melissa will get along with? I don't know, but she will interact and really take everyone in and decide. Teresa will grunt and be like, it's my fucking show. Why is this bitch talking to me? Really, it's that you can't do the job anymore. Like, you literally don't realize it. You literally can't do this job anymore. Listen, I think without Melissa there, and without Margaret there, she'll be fine. I don't think her and Rachel would. I think they're like almost one and the same person. I think they would become friends. I don't even think it's that. I think she would be on cloud nine but she keeps saying, watch House of Villains, you'll see a different Teresa. It's not really the same thing. You're in a house, you're playing a game, there's $250,000. This is like your show in your mind and you're interacting. I don't know. I don't see it with Teresa. I just don't see her doing the job in a nice, happy way. Those are my predictions. I could be wrong. I just see it with Melissa and the other three. It's a win for Dolores and Fuda and Cabral regardless, and maybe Fessler. I think Fessler's a great housewife. If she wants to be there, I think they could bring her back too. Maybe I don't know if they will.
Great predictions.
Those are my thoughts.
That's amazing. I will give you a shout out. Behind the Velvet Rope was featured this year. We saw you on one of the shows.
Salt Lake.
Salt Lake, yeah. I was like, look at that.
My interview with Sean, Angie's husband. I'm sure Meredith is really thrilled with me these days. I don't even really remember the exact question, but yes, I basically asked Sean, do you think Meredith uses Brooks like as an excuse and like as not even for clout, but like as an excuse to like say things like, I guess, like to be an expert in the gay community. I really should probably go back and listen to my own podcast, but that is what went there and that is what and yeah, I mean, understandably that has caused, I mean, he said yes, and understandably that has caused a rift between them. And I mean, every interview Angie has done, she's like, well, the podcaster is a member that asked the question, is a member of the community. And I'm like, yes. So, I mean, I don't know if that, I guess that has some, I don't know if that has some difference, softens the blow a little bit. I don't know. But I really liked interviewing Sean. And Angie made an appearance at the end of that chat.
That's great. That's great. Well, happy holidays. Happy New Year.
We got to
Happy
do this.
New
We got to
Year!
do this every year. I love it. I'm going to see you in the Hamptons.
See you at East, babe. Yep. See you there.
Come and visit us in the Hamptons.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's fun. Yes, I mean, Happy New Year. Everyone could listen to Behind the Velvet Rope if you enjoyed me here today. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We do 9 shows a week now, believe it or not. A show every day, and 2 days a week we have a mini afternoon breaking news show.
Wow.
Check it out. Yeah, all of the goss is there. Thank you so much. Thanks for always bringing the tea. I'm sipping. We are sipping with you. We can't wait to see you next year. So much love. Thank you so much.
You guys are the best. Really appreciate it. Bye, everyone.